Hey, everybody, and welcome to Ask Dear Abby, a podcast where we uncover what ails our animal friends and offer some top-notch animal advice from our delightful doe, Abby.
Well, thank you for that introduction. And of course, this all isn't possible without you, Hopper, our faithful showrunner. I figured we'd get started with some fun animal fast facts before we dive into today's episode.
Sounds good to me.
Well, Hop, did you know that butterflies can only see 3 colors?
No way.
Way. And do you know what colors those are?
Blue, orange, and mauve.
Absolutely not. But I'm very impressed with your confidence.
You better believe it.
Anyway, butterflies can only see the colors red, green, and yellow.
Those are weird colors to see, aren't they?
They may seem weird to us, but remember that butterflies eat the nectar from flowers, and those colors are most often associated with flowers and plants.
So all those bright yellow and red flowers are really the flowers' way of saying, free food over here!
Exactly. And speaking of butterflies, did you know that there are roughly 24,000 species of butterflies out there?
Wow, that's a lot.
It's really cool. But now I want to give you some facts about tigers.
But what about lions and bears?
What?
You know, lions, tigers, bears.
Oh my, Hoppy, I think you need to stay away from the Lizard of Oz for a while. Anyway, so a fun fact about tigers. Did you know that a tiger's stripes are not just on their fur, but on their skin as well? That's right. Even if a tiger were to lose all their fur, they would still be striped.
Ha! Hey, Abby.
Yeah?
Why has the tiger never been caught doing crimes?
I don't know, Hop. Why?
Because he's never been spotted.
Oh, Hopper. Actually, that was kind of funny. But I think now it's time to dive into the neighborhood news. Take it away, Hop.
Well, Abs, the famous media giant, the Foxy Network, now has some new competition with Newtflix, a streaming service created entirely by amphibians. In a new interview with E.T. Entertainment Tadpoles, the CEO of Newtflix, Sally Salamander, said that she was discouraged by the lack of children's programming in the Foxy Network's lineup.
Go Sally! That's so cool!
Sally goes on to say that they have big plans for Newtflix's entertainment, with plenty of programs aimed specifically for tadpoles, such as Heads, Shoulders, Newts, and Toads, Jimmy Neutron, and a season 4 of their hit show Slimier Things.
Oh, I can't wait to see what happens with the Russian polar bears.
Me too. In other news, we've got some updates on our friend Rodney the raccoon.
Oh yeah, Rodney! How is our old friend doing?
Well, boys and girls listening, you might remember that Rodney was arrested not too long ago for stealing, grand theft auto, and being a nuisance, and jaywalking.
Don't forget, Hoppy, that he also stole our hearts.
I would never. Well, it turns out that Rodney escaped and is now on the run.
What?
That's right. Rodney the raccoon is on the lam, which is to say that he jumped on top of a lamb who then helped him jump over the fence. Nobody's seen him since.
Detective Barry must be very upset.
You're telling me. Well, Abs, that does it for the neighborhood news. Oh, and look at that. We've got a couple of callers who'd like to hear some helpful news on their daily blues.
Excellent. I love lending a helping hoof to those in need. So, who are we speaking to first?
Up first is a beaver named Byron. He seems to be having some trouble with not destroying things when he knocks down trees.
Great. Hello, Byron. If you've got a problem, just stop on by and I'll say hi at Ask Dear Abby. That's me.
Yes, hello, Abby. My name is Byron, but surprisingly, my friends, they all call me Byron.
What do your enemies call you?
Byron.
And what should we call you?
Byron.
I'm glad we cleared that up.
What seems to be the problem, Byron?
All right, Abby. Well, you see, it's like this. I have been accused of being careless by some other animals. I do not know what would give them that impression. It's not like I knocked down the whole forest. Although sometimes, if I'm lucky, I can knock down 2 trees by only chewing through one. I call that felling 2 trees with 1 tree. Anyway, surprisingly, some of the less understanding animals have also been complaining about my dams. Surprisingly.
Wait, stop. Abby, we can't say that word on our show.
What? Surprisingly or dam?
Stop!
Allow me to clear something up real fast. A dam, spelled D-A-M, is the word given to a beaver's habitat. Using felled trees, beavers create a wall blocking off a stream and creating a new pond. This wall is called a dam.
Yeah, that is what the fish say when they run into it.
So, when used like that, it's not a bad word, Hopper. Now, Byron.
Oh, that's me?
Yes, I think I know what's going on. This is actually a pretty common complaint. While beaver dams can be very beneficial, they also can be very hazardous. Beaver dams block up water in a river or stream, which usually creates new ponds, lakes, and wetlands. However, beaver dams also cause a lot of damage. In building the dams, they have to chew through a bunch of different trees, which can destroy other animals' habitats. And in forming new lakes, they have to flood the surrounding landscape. This can do a lot of damage to humans too, drowning crops and flooding roads. So, in short, beavers like Byron can do a lot of good stuff, but are also capable of doing a lot of bad stuff too.
But how exactly do I fix that?
With engineering.
Ooh.
No, oh no, I am not an engineer. That's just boring. No, I'd just like to take whatever tree I fancy and pile it up in the stream.
But see, that's the problem. Bear with me, Byron. Think about it like this. If you look at the situation like an engineer, you can make your job a lot easier. Pick the best place to build a dam rather than just any old spot. Then, measure out how much space you have and only cut down enough trees to fill that space, rather than however many you feel like. And if you chew through the trees just right, you can find a way to make the tree fall down where it won't destroy anyone else's home. If you build your dam like this, you can avoid causing a lot of damage.
Always remember, measure twice, bite once.
That is so different from what I usually do. I have always measured once, bit 2 or maybe 3 times, and then hit my head on the ground repeatedly.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Now, there's one more thing, Byron.
All right, Abby.
You need to be considerate of other animals. Instead of just chewing through a tree and knocking it over, you need to first make sure that there's no one living in that tree. No matter what, if someone is living in that tree, don't knock it over.
But that will take so long.
It will take a lot longer, but people and animals will appreciate you so much more this way. They'll feel like you're being considerate of their feelings.
Thank you, Abby. That is great advice. I'm going to use some of that engineering. Goodbye.
Well, that was a treat. Anyways, it looks like we've got another call, Abs. It's a zebrafish named Zoey who wants to know how she can help her sick grandma.
Hello, Zoey. If you've got a problem, just stop on by and I'll say hi and ask, "Dear Abby, that's me."
Hello, Abby and Hopper. Thank you so much for taking my call. I'm happy to talk to you.
And we're so happy to talk to you. Tell us what's been going on.
Yes, so recently, I'm sorry, this is hard to talk about, but recently my Savta, my grandmother, has gotten ill. The veterinarian says that she has an incurable disease.
Ooh, I am so sorry to hear that.
Me too. And I take it you want to know what you can do about it?
That's just the thing. I know that I can't really do anything to help my grandma. I just need to let the veterinarian do her work. But I keep on thinking of what my Savta used to say. She grew up in a temple, and she remembers the rabbi saying, if you save one life, you save the whole world. My grandma always used to tell us this, and I keep thinking of it now. I have 2 things I want to ask you. I want to know what I can do to help my grandmother, even when there's nothing I can do. But I also want to know what I can do to help other people and animals around the world.
Oh my, these are great questions. I'm going to start with the last one first because, believe it or not, it's the easiest one to answer.
How? I'm sorry, Abby, but I really am just a fish. My brain isn't very big, so I don't see how I could help stop any kind of disease.
Actually, it's because you're a fish that makes you perfect. Do you know what a guinea pig is?
Oh, I know. I had a guinea pig for a roommate named Gus. Come to think of it, he still owes me some lunch money.
While guinea pigs are a real animal, they're also a term we use for animals that scientists do experiments on, like a lab rat.
Like Larry, who I also used to live with.
Scientists use lab rats for various experiments to help them figure out things. Studying how a disease, any disease, affects a lab rat helps the scientists learn about that disease and ways to fight it. This can lead scientists to discover what makes a disease work and how it works in a body, and that can lead scientists to discover how to fight it.
But what does that have to do with me?
Because lately, more and more scientists have been using zebrafish like you, Zoe. There's actually a lot of reasons why it's better to use a zebrafish than lab rats. As a vertebrate, you actually share a lot of traits with other animals, including humans. You have 2 eyes, a mouth, lungs, intestines, a liver, and so on. In fact, you share 70% of the same DNA with humans.
DNA? What's that?
DNA. It's a tiny code that's found in the cells of your body. Think of your cells, which are so small you need a microscope to see, as the building blocks or Legos that make up your body. The DNA is sort of like the plans that show you how all those cells are supposed to fit together. Like an architect's plans. With so much in common with humans, scientists are able to use zebrafish to see what is going on in their own bodies.
So, are you saying that if I want to help, I'll need to be given a disease?
Not necessarily. Sometimes all you'll need to do is give birth. See, zebrafish embryos and larvae, or baby zebrafish, are completely see-through, meaning that the scientists can be less intrusive, meaning that their experiments are much easier on you and your babies. And because they're easier on you, that means that the experiments are more accurate and can tell the scientists a lot more.
I like the thought of giving scientists the most accurate way to help others.
I'm glad. But now, Zoe, I'd like to go back to your other question about what you can do for your grandmother. The situation you're going through is very scary, and there's no way around it. But the best thing to do is to be there for your grandmother and let her know how much she means to you. If you decide that you want to become a part of a scientific experiment, let her know that. I think she would be thrilled to hear that you are using this incredibly scary and uncertain time in your life to help others. I think she would be very proud of you. I'm very proud of you for even thinking to ask what you can do. Zoe? Are you still there?
I'm still here. Sorry, I wanted to think about this. And I've decided. I am going to volunteer to be part of a scientific experiment. It is the right thing to do, and it is the best way that I can help others. It is what my grandma would want to do. Save one life and you save the whole world. It's what she taught me, and it's what I believe. Thank you, Abby. I think it's time for me to go save the world.
Thank you, Zoe. Hobby? Hop, are you crying?
No, you're crying. Excuse me, it was just so... That was very nice of her, wasn't it?
It really was. You know, not all of us are going to grow up to be scientists and cure everybody of diseases, but that doesn't mean that there isn't anything that we can do. You can volunteer or give blood at a blood drive, or you can even just be nice to others.
Hey, Abby?
Yes, Hobby?
Can we go to a commercial break now? I want to look up a place to volunteer. Will you help me?
Sure thing, Hobby. As Zoe would say, let's save the world. We'll be back in a flash after these messages.
Hello, and welcome to Bull's China Shop. I'm Beauregard Bull, owner and proprietor. But you can call me Bo, and I want to welcome you to Bull's China Shop. Right now, we're having a sale on all teapots and teacups. We're even rolling back prices on our world-famous saucers. But not the flying kind. That's a fine China joke right there. What's more, everything is guaranteed chip-free or your money back. So, if you want to impress your friends with the finest dining experience, then it's time for you to grab your life by the horns and move on down. Shop like a bull in a China store. Bull's China Shop. We break prices, not product.
From the creative mind that brought you Chromio and Mouliette.
Now is the winter of our discontent made glorious summer by the son of a Yorkie.
Comes the brilliant story of power, betrayal, and love.
Oh, sweet Lady Anne.
My name's Elizabeth.
Oh, yes, that's what I meant.
Brought to you by New Lion Cinema and directed by Steven Spielberg.
Come, let's add them pell-mell. If not to heaven, then hand in hand to, that other place. Ohio.
William Shakespeare's Lionel III.
Has anyone seen those pesky little princes?
Coming this summer, only on the Foxy Network. And we're back, and I hope y'all are still listening with those rabbit ears of yours. As some of you know, and for those of you who don't, this is the part of the show where we bring in some furry, flying, fantastic animal friends of ours to answer your animal inquiries.
We've been asking all of you at home to send us your questions about a certain animal topic. Today's topic is whales. Take it away, Hop.
This week's question comes to us from Smith. He wrote, "Hi, Abby. If whales are so big, then how do they float?"
Well, Smith, thank you for that wonderful question. I think we are going to need to defer to an animal expert for this one. And what better expert than the biggest of all whales, a blue whale? So, without further ado, let's meet her.
Calling it off the coast of Baja California, Mexico, it's Whalemina dorsal fin.
Buenos días, mis amigos. ¿Qué tal?
What's tall, a skyscraper?
Hobby, Wilhelmina is speaking Spanish. Que tal means what's up.
Sí. What's up, friends? How can I assist you today?
We are doing wonderfully. Thank you for asking. Speaking of asking, our friend Smith has a great question about whales that I figure you could help us answer.
Oh, that is so sweet of him. I think the world should know more about us. What does the Niño Bonito want to know? How I got so wise? How I got so beautiful?
Actually, it has to do with your size.
My size? Oh, I see. Because I'm a blue whale and we are so huge. Is that what you're saying?
Well, as a blue whale, you are in fact the largest animal ever known to have lived on Earth. Blue whales can be up to 100 feet long.
100 feet long? That's bigger than a dinosaur. That's bigger than a school bus. That's bigger than a dinosaur riding a school bus.
See? It is true. Es verdad. We are enorme, huge.
And I think that's incredible, Wilhelmina. Most definitely something to be proud of. You're practically the ruler of the ocean at that size.
Oh, I mean, well, you said it, not me. See, my size is impressive and all, but sometimes I wish animals will ask me questions like, what is your favorite color? Which is blue, by the way. And what do you like to eat? Which is krill, in case you were wondering. And it's delicioso.
Aw, Wilhelmina, I'm sorry that animals are not asking you more questions about yourself. And hey, blue is actually my favorite color too. You said your favorite food to eat is krill? That's excelente. Exactly how much krill do you eat in a day?
Oh, gracias for asking. Us blue whales can eat around 4 tons of krill in one day during certain times of the year.
4 tons? That is 1 krill a diet you got there, Miss Dorsalfin. If I ate 4 tons of carrots each day, it'd be a carrotastrophe.
It sure would, Hobby. Now, Wilhelmina, I think that you are going to enjoy our friend Smith's question. He wants to know how, despite your size, you're able to float.
Oh, esa pregunta es magnífica. Señor Smith, no one has ever asked me that before. Muchas gracias, mi niño. I suppose to answer your questions, we first have to talk about buoyancy.
With all due respect, the boy's name is Smith, not Yancey.
I know, not buoyancy, buoyancy.
Hoppy, buoyancy means to float. Marine animals like Wilhelmina are buoyant.
See, Abby, now what makes us buoyant, you may ask?
I mean, I just learned what the word meant, but I am curious to know more.
The answer is blubber.
Ooh.
That's a fun word to say. Blubber.
See, blubber is the thick layer of fat under the skin of all marine mammals like seals, walruses, and whales.
Blubber. Blubber.
Now, in addition to help us float, blubber does other cool things too, like store energy and insulate heat.
Ooh, that's awesome, Wilhelmina. Now, can you elaborate on how exactly blubber helps you float?
Oh, sí, yo puedo hacer eso. But to do so, I have to teach you another vocabulary word.
Ooh, I'm ready.
The word is density.
Ooh.
Us rabbits have den cities too. They're called warrens.
Ay, pobre conejito. Density is a word that describes how much space an object or substance takes up in relation to the amount of matter in that object or substance. Déjame explicarte. If an object is heavy and compact or close together, it has high density. Think about it like if you throw a stone in the water, it will sink, as will anything that is more dense than water. Even the niños and niñas listening right now have probably noticed that they will sink in the water unless they swim to keep themselves afloat.
So, if I may, with you being the largest animal in the world, Wilhelmina, wouldn't you also be more dense than water and therefore sink?
Sí, pensarías eso. That is where the blubber comes into help. Remember, Abby, how I said that blubber is a layer of fat? Well, guess what? Fat is less dense than water. Fat, when you put it into water, it will actually float. So you see, because my body has so much blubber, I can float and glide through the ocean at my leisure. and I don't have to expend energy swimming to stay afloat like the humans do.
Wow, Lamina, that's incredible. I'm so glad that we have a better understanding now of how whales can float. Before you go, though, Lamina, I wanted to quickly ask you about something you mentioned earlier. You said that blue whales are a mammal, correct? So, does that mean that just like humans, whales need large amounts of oxygen to breathe? Do you not stay under the water 24/7?
Muy bien, Abby. Whales are not like fish, who can extract oxygen from the water using their gills. Us blue whales breathe by swimming to the ocean surface, quickly exhaling all air and inhaling fresh air into our lungs through our blowholes.
Oh my! So, how long exactly can whales hold their breath for?
Bueno, during deep dives, us blue whales can hold our breath up to 90 minutos before coming back to the surface for air. But it's more common for us to stay under for no more than 30 minutos at a time.
That's so cool. Lamina, this has certainly been an enlightening conversation. Muchas gracias for joining us today and for teaching us so much about your incredible self.
Adios, amigos. Hasta luego.
Adios, Whalemina. Hey, Abby, I'm super excited about our special topic for next week's episode. Go ahead and ask me why.
Okay, Hobby, why?
Because they're very able to answer all our mathematical mysteries. Get it? Because y is a variable.
Excellent observation, Hop. Next week on a special episode of Ask Dear Abby, Hopper and I will sit down and talk with some of the most mathematical mammals on the planet, so don't miss out.
Well, that concludes our episode of Ask Dear Abby. But before we go, Abby would like to give you, the listeners, a few words of wisdom. Take it away, Abs.
Thanks, Hoppy. We sure did learn an awful lot today. In the spirit of our new friends, Byron, Zoey, and Lamina, let me leave you all with this. Sometimes we feel like we are helpless and that as much as we want to take care of others, we just don't know how. Our friend Byron was having a hard time not being destructive when he was building his dam. Once he learned that with engineering there was a smarter and safer way to build his dam, he was able to do his job and make the world a better place to live in. Our friend Zoey was saddened by her grandmother's illness and wished that there was something she could do to help her and other animals around the world. When she learned that there were animals that volunteered themselves to uncover answers to unexplainable ailments, she couldn't wait to dive in and offer her support. Speaking of support, we learned from our new friend Lamina how blue whales are able to support themselves in the water and stay afloat thanks to their amazing adaptations. We can all use the skills that we possess to help out one another and make this big, bright, beautiful world of ours a happy place to live in. Thanks again for listening, and as always, if you've got a problem, just stop on by and I'll say hi at Ask Dear Abby. Bye-bye now.